When you leave, there's God in the air, a ringing in the stillness, smoke drifting up the stair. When you leave, now this is a masterpiece. I've seen a lot of people calling it a jazz song, but to be honest, I can't see too much jazz in it. Yes, the piano plays some jazz chords here and there, the muted trumpet of course, but the core of the song is still this simple and very guitar-oriented ballad. Much like the Ragpicker's Dream. To me, When You Leave is even closer because it reminds me of the Russian Romance, which is this ballad type of the song usually accompanied by guitar, with Dark Eyes being probably the most famous example. A lot of Eastern Europe in this song. If you don't believe me, let's try to play When You Leave as a waltz. See what I'm talking about? And this is just one example. Anyway, back to the song. What we have here is a pretty simple but useful kind of picking. I'd say beginner-friendly picking because at this point there is nothing in the left hand. It's E minor with D in the bass chord. The right hand pattern is bass and the rest of the chord broken into 3 beats. And of course it's a kind of song where you can dish this thumb over the top technique, which makes it a whole lot easier. There is a bar chord, but it's easy. There's not too much chords. For the verse we have E minor with D in the bass, C or C major 7, D with an F sharp in the bass, G sharp diminished, 4 mute, 3, 4, 3 mute, A minor, B7 with an F sharp in the bass, E minor added 9th, this is 9th, just an E minor chord with one note up, then essentially the A minor with an F sharp in the bass chord. It has many names, for instance F sharp minor 7 flat 5, because if you take F sharp minor 7 and flatten the 5th, you get this chord. It's also A minor 6th, because if you take A minor and add 6 to it, it's A minor 6th. Anyway, the second verse is identical, then the middle part, in the middle part, they actually start with F sharp minor 7 flat 5. To sound like the record, I add this C bass, but it's optional. to familiar B7, E minor. And again, to gain some momentum, you can add bass notes to basically A minor chord. Then for the finish, there's Hendrix chord, as I call it. Actually very handy chord to grip. All it is a B7 with added sharp 9, if you want a proper name. From that you can go down to the simple B7 by playing first sharp 9th and then flat 9th. Or like on the record, with an F sharp in the bass. The third verse is identical to the first two, except for the ending. It goes, when you leave, I'll hear the smallest sound and turn to look behind me, as though you're still around. Again, nothing too complicated. What we aim for is this bass movement from E to C sharp, and there's many ways to achieve that. The easiest I can think of is E minor with one finger, E minor with D in the bass with one finger, and C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Again, this fancy chord which has one of the most enjoyable grips ever. Mute 4 5 4 5 mute. It's so natural. The overlay is going through some open strings. What I like to do, because I can, I play E minor with C sharp with my thumb, and the whole voice leading is still here. So try experimenting in this part, it's fun, because then it's C6 9, mute 3 2 2 3 3. Or just play C here. Suspended B7, which can be played down here without a bar. In case you're wondering, the intro sequence also had this suspended B7, which is technically A minor with B in the bass, going to B7 flat 9, but it's too awkward to play on guitar. The intro is F minor 9th, mute 7 5 7 7 mute, going to D flat major 7, mute 3 5 4 5 mute. I call it by real names because you can't have capo on the piano, right? B flat minor 7 is 5 mute 5 5 5. Or of course mute open 2 open 1 open and suspended B7. The song ends with a jazz vamp over C major. E minor added 9th. last chords are again A minor with B in the bass, and E minor added ninth for the finish. All in all, despite the fact that this song has like a dozen of really fancy chords, still I'd call it's an easy song because names is just names. Who cares it's E minor added ninth if it sounds cool, right? And the fact that you can simplify most of the chords like B suspended, C, 6-9, and play most of it even without bar chords makes me think about this song more like a folk ballad dressed up in jazzy clothes. Much like the Rec Picker's Dream, as I said. I recommend to check the chords for this song on Ultimate Guitar. It's easier to follow along. Don't afraid to follow them fancy chords, and thanks for watching.